Monster Maze Part 5, Adding Candy and a Score. Right now, the player can go ahead and travel throughout the maze and get to the finish line and end the game. But let's go ahead and give the player a task. Let's go ahead and have the monster pick up candies before the game can end. Again, just like everything inside of Game Salad, the candy will be an actor. Inside of the Actors tab in the library, I'm going to create a new actor. And let's go ahead and rename it Candy. I do have an image for this actor, so inside of the Images tab in the library, I'm going to drag the candy blue image onto the actor. I'm going to change the size to 88 and the height to 66. What I want to happen is for the monster to go ahead and eat these candies, and then for the candies to delete themselves off of the screen. Whenever you have that condition mindset, that is, we want this to happen when this is true, that's a good indication that we're going to need a rule inside of Game Salad. So I'm going to create a new rule, and the condition for this rule is going to be this actor receives event, overlaps or collides with monster. What I want to happen is to give some audio feedback to the player to let them know they've done something correct. Inside of the Behaviors tab in the library, I'm going to find the Play Sound behavior and drag it into the rule. The sound I want to play is chomp, and then what I want to happen is actually to destroy this actor off of the screen. Essentially, that just means that Game Salad is going to delete it off of the scene. So your rule should say, this actor receives event, overlaps or collides with actor of type monster. You're going to play a sound of chomp, and then you're going to delete the actor off of the scene. Let's go ahead and add this actor to our scene. I'm going to add about 3 candies onto our scene. I'm going to add one there, maybe one here, and here. You can add your candies wherever you want. Let's go ahead and preview. Now I can go ahead and use the monster to collect these candies, and you can hear that a sound is played and that the candy itself is destroyed off of the scene. One quick thing I want to point out is if I refresh this, you can still get to the end of the game and actually end the game without collecting all of the candies. Let me show you. So even though there's still one candy on the scene, I can still collide with the finish line and finish the game. Let's go ahead and make it so that way the player has to pick up all 3 candies before finishing the game. We can do this with an attribute. An attribute in Game Salad is equivalent to a variable in programming, and attributes can hold numeric and textual data. Inside of the Games tab, I can create a new game level attribute. Game attributes can be accessed and referenced anywhere in your project. They can be accessed inside of actors and inside of any scene. You'll be creating most of your attributes in the Game tab here. To create an attribute, I'm going to click the plus icon to the right of the search bar, and I'm going to choose the integer type. The reason I'm choosing the integer type is because it can hold positive or negative whole numbers, and I want to keep track of how many candies are on the scene. So I'm going to click integer. Game Salad will create the new attribute at the bottom of the list, and I'm going to rename the attribute by double-clicking. I'm going to rename this attribute prize count, and I'm going to set the default value to 3 since I have 3 candies on the scene. Now, what we need to do is actually subtract 1 from this value every time a candy is eaten, so that way the game knows that an actor has been deleted off the screen. To do this, I'm going to go into my candy actor, and inside of my rule, I need to add another behavior. I'm going to search for and drag the change attribute behavior into the rule, and what I need to do now is tell Game Salad which attribute I'm wanting to change. I'm going to move my cursor and click inside of this field here, and Game Salad will give me a couple of options. Since I created my attribute in the Game tab, I know that I have to select Game. I can then scroll down and find my prize count attribute. Now if I want to subtract 1, I do not put my cursor in here and type -1 because that's actually going to change the value to -1 instead of subtracting 1 from the value. To subtract 1 from the value, I'm going to open up the expression editor by clicking the open parenthesis here. And now this has been changed to an expression, so I can click inside of the field here and the expression editor will open. What I need to do now is actually select game, prize count, and now I can type in -1. What this is going to do is subtract 1 from the value of prize count and then change that value back to prize count. So if prize count is 3, let me open this up and show you. Let's say prize count is 3, so 3 minus 1 is 2. It's going to make that calculation and then apply the number 2 back to prize count. Let's go ahead and test this out. Now, if I collect my candies, 1 is being subtracted from the count, but there's no way for us to actually see that visually on our scene. Let's go ahead and make another actor to display the number of candies on the screen. Inside of the Actors tab in the library, I'm going to create a new actor. I'm going to rename this actor Test. And now I'm going to search for the display text behavior and add it to the logic stack. Unlike our last video where we explicitly told the display text behavior what to display, we can actually dynamically tell it to display an attribute. To do that, I'm going to open the expression editor by clicking this button here, the open quote, and then I'm going to click in the field. I'm going to remove the words hello world and input my game.prizeCount attribute. I can click update to apply that expression to the behavior, and now let's go ahead and add this actor to our scene. I'll go ahead and add the actor to the top left of the scene right here. You can place yours wherever, and now let's go ahead and preview our project. Now, in the top left, you can see the number 3 inside of the actor, and when I pick up a candy, that number is decremented until I pick up all 3 candies and the number reaches 0. However, there's no way for the monster to actually complete the game without collecting all of the candies because we haven't told the finish line actor what to do. Let's do that next. Inside of the finish line actor, we have our rule that will end the game when the monster collides with it. We need to add an additional condition here that will check the attribute that we just created to make sure that it's 0. If it's not 0, then the rule will not trigger and the game will not end. Inside of this text field here, I'm going to click and add an attribute comparison condition. What I'm going to do now is select my game attribute that I created, so I'm going to click game, prize count, and I'm going to monitor to see if it equals 0. Now, both the prize count attribute has to equal 0 and the monster has to be colliding with this actor in order for the game to end. Let's preview. I'm going to control my actor and collect the candies on the scene. I'm going to leave 1 candy on the scene and then head to my finish line actor. Even though I'm colliding with the finish line actor, the actor knows that the attribute in the top left isn't equal to 0, which means that it's not going to end the game. However, if I pick up that candy and then head to the finish line actor, you can see that the game will end. Thank you for watching part 5. I'll see you in part 6.